scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Out routes are always timing routes, and if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. Looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. He'll rifle this one deep right side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on third after that incompletion.
Here we go now.
They're going to look to throw. He's going to find his man. That's Tavon Austin. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He'll drop to throw. And this one caught by Cameron Brate. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an...
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Lamar Miller with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Falcons will extend their lead.
But let the natural light of today reflect that he has now gotten into the end zone 2 times.
Look at you. You're a little Ralph Waldo Emerson, is that his name?
No, I was just going with the meteorologist. Said it was a day game. I'm here.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Khalil Mack's starting to get a really big-time reputation as a pass rusher, and rightly so. So explosive off the edge, getting to the quarterback. But he doesn't neglect his run duties as well. How about that tackle right there? Such a package he has, able to play the run and the pass so well.
Bryant with a catch right side. Touchdown, Cowboys! Dez Bryant, 79 yards. And the Cowboys are able to show off their quick strike ability. And that was just a fly route. There was no stop. He just went.
Yeah, and it was beautiful to watch because you have to set it up as you go along. Everyone knows he's fast, so you play him for that. That's the #1 thing you want to take away. But as you go through a game, sometimes you vary the speed in which you come off the line of scrimmage and maybe start a little bit slower, get him to stop his feet a little bit as a defensive back, and then explode and go, as we saw there.
Short kick here, fielded about the 17. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of pass and run. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack.
And it's so hard to stay up with an offense that has things going so well, where you're guessing and guessing wrong play after play. So what you need is someone on the defensive side of the ball
a leader, right?
to make a big play.
Yeah.
Throw that balance out of whack. That's what you're looking for now. Not worrying so much about guessing what the play call is.
Back to throw now on first down. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. 22 yards on the pickup there. And it'll be first down Atlanta.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Back to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The intended receiver, Tavon Austin. And that'll make it third down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
On second down, here's Miller. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL. And a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses. And now we're seeing it in the NFL. Those same guys using their speed to make plays in the backfield, similar to that one.
Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Lamar Miller on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And out now come the Cowboys. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game.
Now a hit and lock. Lost the football. It's out. So they've got the football, and they'll start right on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Setting up the screen for Miller. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then
thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lardarius Webb. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Very tough spot here for the offense to start. It's a four-receiver look to the right side. After the interception, it's Luck. And that's caught left side. It's Woods. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 10-yard line.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Second and very short here, less than a yard. On second down, here's Luck. Now a hit and Luck, and this is going to be brought back. It's a scoop and score for the Falcon TD. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target, and that'll make it 2nd and 10.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. The final shot before the break. Luck finding time. He's going to try and go deep again. It's caught inside the 25. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, where Larry Ridley has our EA Sports halftime report. Larry? Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as he'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, an in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Back to throw. Love. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Jalen Strong, the intended receiver. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle. It could...
Now a hit and Locke lost the football. It's out, and the Falcons grab it. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back